to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. So you've decided to buy or upgrade to a new Model S or X. And as you know, Tesla decided to reinvent the wheel, and now we have a Yoke steering wheel. So if you're someone who has an existing or an older Model S or Model X, and you're thinking about upgrading, the biggest thing you're going to have to get used to is obviously the loss of the steering wheel and the advent of this new steering yoke. And so what I decided to do is just give you some tips on how to prepare for that experience, right? So obviously the yoke is going to be a little bit wider. It's going to be a little bit more angular and rectangular, if you will, than a round steering wheel, even with this steering wheel, which is a little bit flatter at the bottom, a little bit wider, again, just a little bit more rectangular there. But there are some things that you can do to prepare before you take delivery of your new Model S or your new Model X with the Yoke steering wheel, even if you're coming from a Model 3 or a Model Y. So I'm going to show you really quickly what you can try to do maybe about a week or a few days before you actually take delivery, just to get your mind in the right frame of mind to understand what you should and shouldn't be doing in regards to using a steering wheel versus a steering yoke in this particular regard. All right, so the first thing you want to do is understand that there's some guides here basically for the steering wheel for the Model S and Model X that can help you a little bit just to understand where not to place your hands. Okay, so first thing you want to do is understand that you're going to be holding the yoke somewhat like this. It's going to be a little bit wider, but this is a good place to rest them or to practice and get your mind mentally ready to be able to drive with the yoke and get really adapt to it really quickly. Okay, so start by putting your hands like this in a similar fashion. Again, it's going to be a little bit wider for the actual yoke. But then start to drive and do normal procedures, pulling out of a parking spot, and try not to put your hands above this line. And also try not to rest your thumbs in here because, as you know, the yoke has capacitive buttons and it's very easy to press those buttons. So try to get your hands into this mode right here where you're sort of turning like this, using this, and then starting to grab the steering wheel from the bottom as opposed to the top to make turns. So I'm parked right now. I'm going to find a windy road and kind of drive down that road to just experience and get used to and acclimate myself to being able to drive with the yoke. And you can do the same. Again, if you have roads, winding roads, or roads that you travel and require a lot of turning, that's a good opportunity. If you don't have those roads, find a parking lot, an empty parking lot, do some testing there, and that'll be the way that you can effectively test out how to use the yoke. So let's put it in gear and let's go right now. Gonna be in reverse, make sure no one's coming. I'm just going to start to, again, pull from the bottom, not from the top, slowly back out, put it in forward gear, and again, from the bottom, okay? Not going past those lines, going from the bottom, right? It's not going to be able to roll back into place either because it's angular, rectangular. So again, just putting my hands here, and then again, starting to turn like this. A little awkward, but it's training your mind to be familiar with that type of scenario. And over time, when you actually get the yoke, it's a lot easier to get used to. You'll learn certain positions where you can roll it a little easier and more reminiscent to a steering wheel. But just to start, just to get familiar with the process, to get familiar with how you actually use the yoke, this is kind of what you want to do. Okay, again, just being mindful not to put your thumbs here for those capacitive buttons. Okay, start to turn here. There's a little bit of a windy road. So I'll turn here. And just go down this road. And again, just acclimate myself to this style of driving where I'm not leveraging the top of the steering wheel. You don't have to go fast. You don't have to do anything crazy, but just over time, if you have a commute to work or, if you go the same place every day, you could use that stretch of road again for a week or a few days before you take delivery and just start to drive like this and just try not to touch the top of the steering wheel above these lines on the actual steering wheel. Model Y and Model 3 don't have these lines, so just try to familiarize yourself with just keeping your hands here, aligned with the T of the steering wheel, if you will. Okay, so we're coming up to the windy parts where the degree of angle for turn is a lot greater. And again, just getting comfortable with doing that. And I think this is going to really help you familiarize yourself and make sure that the yoke is not very foreign when you first get the car. Okay, I'm here, turning here. Again, two hands on the wheel. Don't try to do it with one hand until you actually get the yoke and get familiar with it, just to practice and just to get your mind in the right frame of mind. Do it like this. Here's a really sharp turn. So again, instead of trying to grab from the top, I'm going to turn as best I can here. And if I need to make a double turn, I'm going to turn from the bottom down here, because that's where the yoke is going to allow you to do that. And again, you don't have the top of the steering wheel, it's the top of the yoke, so you won't be able to do that either way. Okay, another sharp turn. Again, both hands on the wheel. Also being mindful of those capacitive touch buttons, making sure I don't hit those by accident. Keeping my thumbs up here. Can be a little uncomfortable depending on the size of your hands, but you'll find a position that works for you over time with the actual yoke. But this is just, again, just training our minds to prepare for the yoke. Okay. Imagine I press the button instead of that. Here we go. Sharp, and then sharp, and then we'll make a sharp turn right here. All right, so this is what you can do. This is a quick, sort of tutorial, a quick prep of what you can do to prepare for the actual yoke. Again, keeping in mind it's actually a lot wider and a little bit more angular than this round steering wheel. But again, just getting your mind in the right frame of mind and the right mindset to be able to use the yoke. All right, let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you have the new Model S or the Model X at the time of this video, let me know what you think. Let me know if this was helpful. Let me know how you got used to riding with the yoke. If you did any prep to prepare for taking delivery for the yoke, let me know in the comments. Let's talk about it. Until the next video, enjoy your day and enjoy your Tesla.